Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Life Well Lived by Omobola Stephen. It's an engaging and enlightening talk show on life, relationships, and the business of life. Grab a cup of juice and just chill. Life Well Lived by Omobola Stephen. Live life. Live fully.
You are now tuned in to this week's episode of our podcast. Today we are going to interview some of the greatest and most influential minds in our field. By sharing our collective expertise, we will show you how to harness, control, and use your own skill set to achieve ultimate success and live the life you want. And now, please welcome your host.
Pleasure to have you on the show today. Welcome to Life Well Lived. My name is Omobola Stephen, your host on Life Well Lived. If you want to catch up with any of my missed episodes, just go online and search for Life Well Lived by Omobola Stephen on any podcast distribution platforms, and you have an amazing time listening to the talk show. Today's show, I have Joe Apfelbaum, who is the CEO of Ajax Union, a business strategist, a marketing expert, and certified Google trainer. Hi, Joe. Welcome to Life Well Lived.
Thank you for having me here on the program.
Thank you for joining me on the show today. I'm looking forward to your professional insight. Now, Joe, I understand that you help entrepreneurs go from frustration to motivation. Motivation, right? That sounds interesting. Tell me more about that.
A lot of people are living their life just by default. They're kind of just like humming along, hoping for the best, just kind of like living and surviving, barely surviving. 80% of people are living paycheck to paycheck. They're barely making it. And so how do you get out of that survival mindset of just making it, and you get into the mindset of thriving, of having abundance, of living a really, really good life? Most people never even think that that's even possible, and that's part of their survival mindset. They just want to survive. They're not even thinking about thriving. They're not even thinking about becoming wealthy or becoming successful or having really good relationships. It's because that's really how we're wired. I used to be very afraid of building relationships and networking. And part of that is because I had more of a survival mindset, like many of us do. And so understanding how to build those real relationships, how to really get to know people, how to be able to understand what do you want to achieve out of life is a foundation for you to be successful in business. Most people are just taking whatever comes their way, instead of setting smart goals that will help them be able to achieve what they want to achieve in life. You have the ability to create anything you want in this world, but you have to have the right set of thoughts, the right set of beliefs, and the right set of habits that create a mindset that will help you be able to achieve what you want to achieve. If you don't believe that you can do it, you're not going to do it. You're not even going to try. Results come from action. Results don't come from sitting down and being comfortable, because action usually causes pain. Action is not comfortable. And by the way, pain is not a bad thing. It's just a feeling of discomfort. That's what pain is. Pain is feeling discomfort. And if you want to stay in your comfort zone your whole life, you're going to do what most people do, which is survive. And if you want to have what other people don't have, you have to be willing to do the things that other people are not willing to do. It means get out of your comfort zone, optimize your mindset, learn a new skill set, apply it, take consistent action, and then you're going to get results.
Right. Now, talking about mindset, right, when I was about to launch my current podcasting, right, one of the fears that crippled my heart there was of rejection. Who's going to accept me, right? Blah, blah, blah. Now, Joe, from your personal experience, right, what is one big fear that you had to overcome in your career?
I had so many different fears. I was afraid of public speaking. I was afraid of having my photo on social media. I was afraid of networking. Like networking and building relationships. I was afraid that I would look like an idiot. I had a little voice in my head that said, "You are an idiot. You are a certified idiot." And that's what I believed. I believed the little voice in my head. I didn't know that that voice came from an insecurity from when I was 9 years old. I didn't know that my thoughts were not who I am. I didn't know that my feelings are just feelings to be felt. I thought that I was the feeling. And so when I felt sad, I didn't say I'm feeling sad. I said I am sad. And so there's a very big difference between understanding what fear is. Fear is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's there to help us be able to survive when there are dangerous things around us. The things that we're afraid of, though, are usually not dangerous. Launching a podcast is not dangerous, but we're still afraid of other people's opinions.
That's
Networking
right.
is not dangerous. Speaking to strangers is not dangerous in a specific context, in a specific environment. On LinkedIn, for example, building a relationship with a stranger is not dangerous on LinkedIn, where you can see who they are, where they work, who their mutual connections, where they've been. You can see everything about them. And so that's not dangerous, although we do still feel fear. And the reason we feel that fear is because we are in survival mode. And when we're living in survival mode, we're not even attempting to thrive. We're not even attempting to grow. We just want to keep the status quo. And if you want to keep the status quo instead of grow, then you're never going to have that podcast show.
Right. Now, Joe, you mentioned LinkedIn, right? And I love the fact that you mentioned that now. So my question is, why has LinkedIn not worked for some people? Is that something they aren't doing anyway?
LinkedIn is software. The reason why it doesn't work for some people is because they're trying to use a tactic as a strategy. LinkedIn's not a strategy, it's a tool. And if you use a hammer to try to eat food, you're not going to be successful. If you're using LinkedIn for the wrong thing, you're not going to be successful. You could still eat food with a hammer, but it's much easier doing it with a spoon or with a fork. And so using the tool for the right thing, for the right strategy, you're going to be much more successful. A lot of people are using LinkedIn to try to sell things to other people. When someone comes to a social network, they're not coming to buy. They're coming to connect. They're coming to build a relationship. And if you're just there trying to sell something, you're on the wrong platform, using the wrong approach. People hate to be sold. They love to buy, but they hate to be sold. So learn how to be classy and have a relationship instead of being desperate. Instead of having desperation, have motivation, have inspiration, have connection. Connect with people, get to know them, learn about them. And if you can build rapport, if you can build likability, then you both like each other. People do business with other people that they know, they like, and they trust. And no one's going to trust you if you come at them saying, hey, would you like to buy web design? Hey, would you like to buy sales services? Do you need more lead generation? Do you need an assistant? I could be your assistant, Joe. Do you want an assistant? I could be yours. What are you doing? You're just trying to sell things. And selling without building trust is a form of abuse. Don't just try to abuse other people. Now, sometimes the manipulation will work and you'll get someone to buy something, but that's not a relationship. They're probably not going to spend a lot of money. They're probably going to haggle on the price. You don't haggle on the price with your friends. With your friends, you pay full price and you get real good value from your friends. And so what you want to do is you want to try to build a group of relationships, people that know you, like you, and trust you, and do business with other people that it's just a pleasure doing business with. Why are you trying to do business with anyone that will do business with you? Because you have a desperate mindset, because you believe that there's not enough, because you're in scarcity. Instead of being in scarcity, be in abundance.
Correct. Now, let's talk about lead generation. Do I have to employ the service of a marketing professional, right, before I can get more customers to my business?
There's a very big difference between marketing, networking, and prospecting.
That's right.
Marketing is about getting more exposure, about getting it out there more, for people to know who you are. Networking is about building relationships, and prospecting is like lead generation, looking for people who are prospective customers. People confuse the three things, and they end up spending a lot of time doing lead generation, which is about finding people who need your services and then servicing them. And if you're just going out there on LinkedIn, trying to generate leads, looking for new business from people that need to buy your product, then you're missing out on the opportunity to actually connect and build relationships. When you're networking, you're building relationships. When you're doing lead generation, you're not necessarily building relationships. You're just asking people if they want to buy from you. When you're networking, you're actually going out there and building meaningful relationships. And people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. So they end up spending longer. They end up staying longer with you. You don't want to be the lowest cost provider from someone that just generated a lead who's very transactional. Personally, I'm not into building transactions. I'm into building meaningful relationships with people and wanting to get to know them. I love the way that you started this podcast with an icebreaker to kind of get to know each other and build a real relationship. It's not a transaction. And fear kicks in and makes us just want to be transactional. So if you're allowing fear to lead you through your business, you're just going to have transactional relationships. And that's not what you really want. Instead, what you want is you want to have meaningful relationships with people and find people that work with your ideal customers and get them to trust you. And that will ultimately turn into business. Now, there is a place in business for lead generation. If someone's searching on Google for your products and services and you show up on Google, that's a great place to show up when somebody needs your products and services. You can also run advertisements. There's a lot of things that you can do to get people to want to speak to you and generate leads. And there's a place for that. But when it comes to LinkedIn, LinkedIn is more about networking than it is about prospecting.
Right. Thank you for that brilliant explanation, Joe. Now, tell me about your latest book on the blog, right? High Energy Networking.
High energy networking is about how to get anything in life while building real, meaningful relationships that last a lifetime. Most people are afraid of networking. They're afraid of building relationships. They don't even know that. They don't even know who they are. They don't share who they know. They don't share what they know. They don't share how they feel. They don't build real, meaningful relationships with people. So I want to teach people how to create that mindset to build real relationships. I want to teach people the skill set, the skills. How do you build rapport? How do you connect? How do you develop a pitch? How do you find groups to join? How do you create your own groups? How do you be able to create a networking one sheet? So I have an assessment that walks you through what to do, not just to find the right people, but also to connect, to nurture, and to stay top of mind. One of the things that people fail to do in business is stay top of mind with their network. And people tell me that I'm really, really good at staying top of mind. People remember me, they see me, they know me, and they refer business to me. If you want to be successful in business, you have to learn to stay top of mind. And I teach you how to do that in the book called High Energy Networking.
Right. So how is it accessible?
I'm sorry?
How is it accessible?
Oh, you can go on Amazon.com and you can get the book. You can buy it on Kindle. If you go to highenergynetworking.com, it'll take you straight to the Amazon page.
Great. Now, Joe, I want us to get a little bit personal here, right? How were you able to build a multi-million-dollar agency with no business experience now that huge?
Well, the first thing I did was hired a coach, hired mentors, read books, got a partner. Finding the right people, the right relationships to surround yourself with is going to be what's going to help you be able to achieve building a multi-million-dollar business. Now, most people don't even want to build a multi-million-dollar business. Most people don't even have that desire. They don't even have that wish. They don't even have that dream. They don't even have that goal. Most people are just satisfied with where they are. They'd like to own it, but they wouldn't like to do the work that it takes to get there. And so if you're not willing to do the work it takes to get there, you're not going to be successful. You're not going to get there. It's kind of like most people want to have a beautiful body, right? They want to have a ripped, perfect body, but they're not willing to go to the gym. So if you're not willing to go to the gym and put in the work, your body's not just automatically going to become slender. If you're not willing to put in the work and drink the amount of water that you need to drink and have the right nutrition and do the research and potentially hire a mentor or a coach, you're not necessarily going to get there. So if you want to have what other people don't have, you have to be willing to do the things that other people are not willing to do. I didn't just get lucky. I had the right strategy and I did the work.
Right. Beautifully said. You had the right strategy and did the work. Thank you once again, Joe Apfelbaum, for your incredible and professional insight on today's show. Now, rounding up, I want you to tell me, how does one create a plan to grow a business to 7 figures?
Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to figure out what your goals are. What do you want to achieve? Why do you want to do it? Who do you want to serve? Who are the people that you're going to serve? What problem are you going to solve for them? And then do the math. How are you going to get to 1 million or 2 million or 4 million? How many clients do you have to serve? How much do they each have to pay you? Most people never even do the math. And so once you have your goal, you understand who you're serving,